I don't either. So it's a shame if he isn't there. But we've got a cracking race here. Either way. And we're off at the Pacers running men's 10,000 meters. Pacers makes incredibly comfortable apparel, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all that good stuff. They partner with Sound Running to make their apparel for the sport. So look them up. I highly recommend it. But here we go. Look at this. Rory Linkletter darting into lane 1. Former BYU athlete.
So Rory's been asked to run 65.8 per lap, which would yield a 27.25 clocking.
So everybody's slotting in there. And I believe that's... I'm not sure who the other pacer is out front. That might be Austin Dahlquist.
Yes, it is.
Austin Dahlquist up front, and I think that might be Theo Quacks in third.
And then John Dressel wearing the brightly colored yellow, red, and black Under Armour singlet.
Dressel, former CU buff. And there's Talbi in the blue shorts and red singlet. 27:20 last year at the track meet in this event. He's the defending champion. And that race saw Joe Klecker come in and punch his qualifying standard, his Olympic standard. So that enabled him to then go on and place third and make the U.S. team in Tokyo. The final event of the evening here, men's 10,000 meters. Incredible lineup. We got a lot of good Hanson Brooks distance athletes on the line. JP Flavin, Alex Sandusky, Daniel Soto, and Zach Panning in this too. Those guys packed up. We had the Sound Running Cross Champs here in December. They ran two loops of the Mount Sac High School course, which is one of the most rigorous courses in the country, I think. But Zach, they all packed up together and worked as a team that first half, and then kind of went their separate ways and threw out whatever they had at the end. Zach Panning had a little bit more and started picking everybody off, and I think I want to say he placed at least in the top 3 of that race.
Yeah, Panning, a former standout at Grand Valley State University, a D2 program. But also well represented here are the Under Armour crew with Robert Brandt running in 3rd or 4th place right now. And then B.S. Simbasa running in about 8th place, part of the Dark Sky group that did so well in the previous race.
Yeah, Robert Brandt, local boy too, from L.A., UCLA and Georgetown athlete. He ran 27:52 at the 10 here a few weeks ago, so he's looking to duck under that. Everybody's got their eyes on either the U.S. standard or the world standard. So U.S. standard is currently 27:50, and that'll get him on the line in Eugene at the pre-classic at the U.S. champs.
So after a fast first lap, 65 flat, we slowed down to 68 for the second lap. So hopefully we can find our groove here in a minute.
Get him on track, Rory. Let's go. Rory Linkletter, now coached by Ryan Hall, too. The 2:04 marathoner. He made that coaching change this last year, formerly with NAZ Elite. Linkletter placed 2nd at CIM in December, the California International Marathon, running 2:12. Here we go, 4:25 through the mile. So 66 pace. And now Talbi has jumped in front of Rory Linkletter. So Talbi has jumped the Pacers, and he wants to take this. Maybe he wants to pull in Elise Cranny here, Dave. I think, as we know, Elise Cranny from the 10 here a few weeks ago, she had a pacer for 3,000 meters and then took it 7,000 meters solo, coming within a second of the American record.
That was a 66-1 last lap for Talbi. And he's pulling away. He doesn't want any 67-second nonsense. He wants to make this a fast race and get back on 27-25 pace. And then look who's moving up.
Sam Chelanga.
To join him.
Sam Chelanga wants a part of this. So Sam Chelanga, 27:08 for PR for him. Did that in 2010, but most recently ran 27:33 at the 10. So he wants that 27:25, and I'm glad somebody's going with Talbi here to make this race a little interesting. But he's pulling the whole pack back to him. Robert Brandt there, heavy hitter, in third. And I think that's Frank Lara behind him from Roots Running.
Sam Chelanga, the oldest runner in this race, 37 years old. Ran his collegiate record of 27:08 12 years ago, if you can believe that.
Was that, 27:08, is that the famous Chris Zelinsky race where he ran 26:59?
I think it was. Peyton Jordan, 2010.
Yep.
Chelanga's mark, 27:08, the collegiate record, some 19 seconds faster than any other collegiate in history. Second fastest being Cam Levins. And then, just for good measure, Chelanga has the third fastest time ever.
So Talbi up here, the reigning champion of the track meet 10,000 meters, driving the train. Everybody else climbing on board. Sam Chelanga behind him, Robert Brandt, Frank Lara. And then Bia Simbasa behind Frank Lara. Simbasa, a 27:45 runner. He ran that back at Stanford in 2017.
So it's still Talbi, the 27-year-old Moroccan, leading the way. 2015 World University Games silver medalist. Started his collegiate career, at least in the U.S., at Northwest Kansas Technical College before moving on to Oklahoma City University, one of the better NAIA programs in the country.
And now he's waving his hand, too. He wants somebody to come help him out. And Chelanga acquiesces here.
It takes a village. Brandt's still there in third place.
So here we know that all these guys have their eyes set on a time that they want to hit. So the real racing and moves are going to be made late in the race when they know that there's work to be done, or they can throw smoke at each other a little bit. But right now everybody's trying to help each other out and get themselves there. So we've got Ty Dinger in there as well in the blue, and that pack on the outside.
And then the tall figure with the yellow and red and black that's Bia Simbasa from Dark Sky Distance, running in 5th place right now on the rail.
He ran 61.5 earlier this year, so he's got the strength to do something here. But I think I'm happy to see Frank Lara in the race too. That he's a tough runner, and you know that when the race gets going, if there's an opportunity for him to jump on it and make it grueling for people, he's going to do it.
They're really going to have to get moving if they want to knock out this World Champ standard. That was a 70.0, even though it looked like Chelanga injected some pace. Doesn't seem like that was the case.
So a 4:40 pace for that lap here, which is not what you want to see if you're aiming for 27:28.
Yeah.
which is the world standard.
So 8:53 through 3,200 meters. There's a bunch of Newbury Park boys here. Like, oh, I can do that.
Lex Young could do that through 3,200 and continue on to 5K.
Yeah.
There's Joel Rieschow there, and you can see Henrik Ingebrigtsen hanging on. Talbi up front, and now that's Robert Brandt moving up. Robert Brandt knows there's work to be done. He came here and ran 27:52 at the 10. He's got a PR of 27:39 run on this track at the track meet in 2020, which was held in December that year, when more meets could be held. But Brandt doing it down here on his home soil of Southern California, wearing that dark sky kit. And I love seeing all these dark sky athletes out here. I love good team representation in the sport because that helps this sport grow. And when people can start to develop,
Brandt's peeling off.
Is he peeling off, or is he just waving him to carry the pace?
That was bizarre.
He's doing that. He wants to switch off laps with Talbi.
Okay. The thing I like most about this Under Armour crew is the ability to spot them in a pack with those distinctive Maryland color singlets.
Yeah. Yeah, they're wearing the Maryland flag on their chest. But dark sky distance is out of Flagstaff. So Talbi back up front because Robert Brandt wanted him there.
So they did inject a little bit of pace. They went from 70 to 68, but still not going to get it done as far as qualifying for the World Champs with these latest few circuits of the track here at J. Sarah Catholic High School.
Frank Lara looking like he wants to make a move to the front, which is good. I feel like everybody wants that right now, and he's doing that. Without his mustache, he shaved that to go a little faster in this 10,000 meters. And moving up, too, we've got Brett Robinson, the Australian wearing the Nike kit. He's the Australian record holder in the half marathon, has run under 60 in that event. He's run 27:58 in the 10,000 meters, Brett Robinson. So I would say that last K, if we're looking at this as chapters, that was really marked by Robert Brandt and Zouhair Talbi changing leads, and Sam Chelanga sitting on them.
The most recent lap, 66.7.
Okay, so Frank Lara,
he's injected some pace here.
Getting it back to 4:24 or 4:25-ish pace. We're going to need more than that. You can see Zach Panning back there, too. He's wearing the Hanson's Brook singlet at the back of the front pack, so moving his way up. But now Frank Lara creating a gap here. So Brett Robinson is moving around Zouhair Talbi to go with him. Zouhair Talbi has been known to fall back in races, too, and come roaring back at the end. So he plays a little possum, much like Jordy Beamish does in the 1500s, where Jordy Beamish can go to sleep a little bit in that third lap and then scream a final 200.
So Lara's last three laps, 67, 66, 65. He's up the tempo, and now it looks like he's got a little bit of company.
Now Brett Robinson up to the front.
This is how they're going to get it done, with a couple of runners running strongly, alternating laps.
Sam Chelanga trying to come around and latch on. Brett Robinson is looking for more help here.
So Chelanga has moved up into third. Talbi is in fourth. We got a little bit of separation now with Lara and Robinson. Robison, should say, right?
Yes,
I believe it's
Robison.
Yeah.
Very sorry to the Australians. I hope you're enjoying lunch down there. So we're getting a good look at the pack rolling through here. But Robison and Lara, this is a good team if they can work together. And it looks like they are.
Going to take over. And then Sammy Chelanga trying to bridge that gap. If he can do that, he'll drag another 3 or 4 runners with him. Then maybe we'll have 6 runners.
So that last lap was a 63.9 from Brett Robison.
Yeah.
So Brett Robison wanting this pace to drop down, and so does Frank Lara because he's working for it right now. He's stuck with Robison. And at this point in the race, you don't know if that type of pace is in their best interest because this pack is trying to claw back, and they could get more help if they let them back. But you also want to notch this pace down a little bit.
Now Talbi leading that second train.
And there's Henrik Ingebrigtsen coming through here.
Way back, but still on track to run a personal best.
28:20 personal best for Henrik Ingebrigtsen. And now Robison back to the front, taking over from Lara. So that was a 65 lap. So they're clicking off 65s, it looks like. Robison ran a 63 to get up to the front there. And the Australian back to the front, leading the Roots running athlete, training from in Boulder, Frank Lara. And there's Ty Dinger there, Dr. Dinger. He's getting his PhD at Harvard in health policy. So we were right. We knew it was Brett Robinson. It says Brett Robison on the results sheet, and really tripping us up. But Brett Robinson, we know who you are, and now Frank Lara takes over for Brett Robinson. But it looks like the pace has drifted again, and that was a 71 lap. So Robinson maybe struggling slightly. Still trying to hang on to Frank Lara there. And Talbi pushing this chase pack here.
It was a 66.2.
66. Sorry, there was no 71. That was a 66.
Yeah, I think that was a lapped runner that got clicked on mistakenly. So down the back stretch, it's Robinson now going to take over a lap. These two working as a team up front, Frank Lara, and then Talbi driving that second train with Chelanga right behind him, and Biasimbasa has moved up into 5th.
So Robinson and Lara, this is a great duo out here too. Two guys from opposite sides of the world working together in this 10,000-meter race. Probably going to name a detective sitcom after them or something like that. They're a great team tackling this 25-lap challenge. And it looks like the distance between them is growing back to the second pack, too. And we could see that as that second pack is mostly running 67s. And these guys are pushing 66s. There they are, working around the curve. We're getting the drone shot. Hitting that 1,500-meter line. Robinson up front.
That was another 67 up front. And Talbi ran almost exactly the same split. So that gap not changing, but they have strength in numbers. There's 7 runners in that chase pack.
And this almost looks like a cycling race out here too. You've got 2 guys switching off the lead out front, and then the peloton chasing them behind. And we'll see if they catch them in the sprint at the finish. But Lara and Robinson are probably the best working duo out here right now.
So as they approach the finish line now, they're going to have 2,800 meters left. So can this breakaway duo get away from the peloton? And in that peloton, it looks like Jeffrey Kipchumba is going to take over.
There's a lot of firepower back in that peloton there. So Chelanga, Jeffrey Kipchumba, Bia Simbasa.
You know who's still in that chase pack is Hansen's Zach Panning, who's never broken 28 minutes before, but he's having the race of his life here tonight.
That's my guy right there. He's a tough guy. If you can negative split and pick off people on the Mount Sac course, then you're a tough runner. So Robinson back up front here too. Still Frank Lara. Frank Lara and Brett Robinson off alone into the night. But Kipchumba clawing back, and it looks like he's dragging the pack back up to Frank Lara's backside. And Robert Brandt is still up there too in that second pack. And the gap is closing now. Sam Chelanga ran a 66 on that lap. And 68 for Brett Robinson. So they're closing down. And here we see Kipchumba swallowing Frank Lara back into the pack. And Kipchumba and Chelanga are now up right behind Brett Robinson.
Robinson's an incredibly versatile runner. It has, strong PBs ranging from 800 meters. He's around a 150, 800. He's also around a 210 marathon. So if it does come down, to a kick here, Robinson's around 150 for 800 meters. He's a 338 metric miler.
Wow.
I mean, he can kick with any of these guys. But I think the toll of doing so much of the work up front may tell eventually.
And also, Dave, you mentioned before we jumped on too. This is May 6th, and we have to give a acknowledgement to Roger Bannister.
Yes, May 6th, 1954. So Roger Bannister ran 3:59.4. So 68 years ago today.
First man under the magical barrier. But here we go. Brett Robinson still at the front. I mean, Kipchumba dragged everybody up, but doesn't want to pass Brett Robinson at this point. So the pack's back to their old tricks after Frank Lara and Brett Robinson were working so well together. They're hanging Brett Robinson out to dry right now, which is racing.
You know who's done hardly any, of the spade work so far? He's just been content to sit behind somebody the whole way. Is Bia Simbasa. He hasn't run a step further than necessary. He hasn't been the one to bridge any gaps. Not that I'm saying he should do that, but he's ran a really smart, economical race so far and looks really relaxed.
I think that's the great place to be. If you could be quiet and go unnoticed through most of the 10K.
He's just been following the NCAA collegiate record holder for, what are we at? 21 laps.
You never want to be the loudest man at the card table. Don't show your hand. Make everybody forget that you're there, and then maybe he can make a move and strike. But look at Zach Panning coming up on the outside. He's trying to make a move here as the pace slows again to 69.70.
I don't think Zach Panning wants us to come down to an 800-meter race.
I don't think so. We know Brett Robinson could handle that. And Talbi, too. We know Talbi's tricks, that he's been known to lag a little bit late in the race and then come roaring back. So that's possibly what's happening right now. I would never count out a screaming finish from Zouhair Talbi here.
Yeah, 7:39, 3,000 meters just last summer. There aren't many people in this race that could live with that.
And 7:40 indoors this year, too.
Yeah.
So he's got that kind of fitness right now. Brett Robinson's still at the front. Ever since the pack caught up to him, he hasn't seen Frank Lara in 4 or 5 laps.
Is Lara going to take another lap here?
Let's see. Lara's coming back up on his old pal's shoulder, Brett Robinson there. And he wants him to.
Pace has slowed again.
So
last couple of laps have been a 70 and a 69, so you can see that the pack is concertinaing again. Nobody really wanting to play their cards just yet.
So the minds of this race has shifted into racing right now, and not to a time pursuit. Everybody's kind of looking around and see what everybody has.
Yeah, nobody's getting the world champ standard here. This is just a pure race.
And that's what it's all about. So we come into 800 meters to go. And this is a race with a pack of 6 athletes.
So they were 25:47 with 2 laps remaining. So let's assume they run a couple of 63s or something like that. That we're looking at about a 27:53 clocking.
And Brett Robinson still has it in his legs too, because this pace clearly looks like it's dropping down, but he's still at the front. So at this point, that's where he wants to stay, and anybody who wants to pass him is going to have to do a whole lot of work. But there's the man.
All right, we're down to 5 runners now.
There's the man, Zouhair Talbi, pulling up onto his shoulder. So Simbasa's been dropped. Brett Robinson is up front. Zouhair Talbi on his shoulder.
And then Kipchumba on the inside, and here comes Chelanga.
We're rolling into a lap to go. Frank Lara is still in touch with the front pack here. He hasn't let him go. But look at that bouncing stride of Zouhair Talbi as they hit the bell. 26:50 at the bell.
Oh, Robinson tripped on the rail a little bit there.
So Talbi getting some daylight here. He's got the finishing wheels. We know that. He ran 27:20 last year. He's the defending champion in this race. And they're weaving through traffic, so this is going to get tough. Talbi's rolling all the way out to the edge of lane 2. And he's passing Henrik Ingebrigtsen, but he's cutting back in now. And he's got a lot of daylight on the field. Talbi coming around. Brett Robinson looking back, seeing if he can stay ahead of Kipchumba. But now Talbi looking like maybe he can ease up a little bit, but he's not. Now he goes to the blades and swings all the way out to lane 3, so he doesn't have to deal with the traffic. And here comes Zouhair Talbi into the finish of the Pacers running men's 10,000 meters, easing up to the win, 27:49. Zouhair Talbi takes it again, defending champ in the track meet 10,000 meters, 27:49 for him. Brett Robinson, man, doing a ton of work there. 27:51 for him, and that's a PR.
The 27:49.08, the winning time for Talbi. 59 flat close. 27:51.51 for Robinson in second.
It seemed like 59 flat running 450 meters or so, too.
Yeah, I think the results popping up. It looks like they may have missed Kipchumba.